said, your mother said, I knew her, and he told all kind of things that they did back in their young days when they was up there. And said, your granddaddy run a blacksmith shop up there. That's right. And he told one instance there, it told me that stuck pretty good. He said that he was down there at the blacksmith shop with my daddy, Mitch. He said, me and Mitch was down there with him. And he said, your granddaddy was hammering and beating around there on steel in that old blacksmith shop. And he said there was an old man come up there that had long beard, way down here. Said he come up there and started talking to my granddaddy and asked him about somebody that lived over on the little river, over in that Uyless section back in the, if he know where they lived. He said my granddaddy just looked at him and said, he says, ain't you some kind of a damn spy? And he said that's what he told that old man. He said that old man said, no sir, said I ain't gonna want to find out about something. And he said then my granddaddy sat down and told him all about it. And he said, he's just having fun out there, old man.
Yeah.
See, that's where my granddaddy was.
Well, what about the fellow that come down the hill there and his wagon broke down? Tell that story.
Oh, that was when they was up on the mountain, when
Yeah.
the movie shop, up to the old home place up there, that you got them pictures up there.
Yeah.
The man that was talking about his wagon breaking down was, I imagine you knew the captain, Judd.
Oh, yeah.
Judd Caps, and there's Judd and Polian and Brent and Martha. That was old man Baxter Cap's family.
You're right. Yeah.
Well, Judd Cap said he heard, he heard that my granddaddy was a pretty mean man. Said that he had everybody afraid to pass the blacksmith shop. Said he was mean. Said he was a mean man. Said he'd shoot you pretty good. Judd said he said he said I didn't know, said I'd always heard that. And he said his daddy loaded a load of cross ties on a wagon. That was back in the cross days when people used cross ties and then take them all down to the depot station in Zirconia down there, at the station there. And he said his daddy loaded a load of cross ties on a ox wagon, and he started sending him to the depot with them cross ties. And he said he drove them oxen down the road, and said the closer he got to that blacksmith shop was the scarier he got. Said he didn't know, said he heard so much about my granddaddy. He said he was just afraid to go by there. And he said he got where he could see the shop, one of his wagon wheels broke. Just fell down. And he said, there I was in the road with them oxen. Wagon broke down, loaded with cross ties.
Oh, me.
He said, I couldn't put a cross tie on there. He said, I wasn't big enough. I was just a boy. And he said, if my granddaddy happened to come out and he looked and seen that wagon, he said, here he comes. It's the moseying up the road. Oh, he says, what am I going to do? He said, he walked up there and he says, looks like you're having trouble. He said, yes, sir, I sure am. And he said, well, he says, you know, he said, I guess I'd better just unload these cross ties. Said he just picked them up and threw them up on the bank. Said he was strong as a ox. And he said, he uncoupled that old wagon, took the sheet, coupled back to the front, through that tongue. He said, took it back into that old wagon out, and said he told him, says, you know, says, I'm going to take my back end out of my wagon and put it in let you get going from here. Says, you know, you're gonna be late anyhow. And he said he went out there and uncoupled his wagon and brought that back in out there and coupled it up to the one his wagon. Loaded them cross ties and said, get on the ball.
Huh.
And he said, I took off with that wagon and them cross ties, took them on to the depot station. And he said, I studied about that all the way down that road until I got back up to his shop. And he said, you know what he done? Said he built me a wagon wheel while I was home. And he said, of course, he was almost done when I got back up there. And he says, I'm going to try to get you back home before it gets dark. And he said his daddy had got worried about him because he knowed he'd had time to go and learn back. And he said he looked and he seen his daddy coming over the hill. And said he come down there and said he told him what happened. And he said, you know, he said that he got that wagon wheel built on new spokes in it. And he says, he put it together, had my wagon with a new wheel on it. And said, my daddy asked him, says, Mr. King, says, how much money do I owe you? Well, he says, if you got $1, it'll be all right. If you ain't, it'll be all right anyhow. And he said that changed my viewpoints of him all the rest of my life. He said, I never would believe nothing nobody told me about that business. He said there wasn't a better guy ever lived.
Yeah.
And he said I went to see him. I've been to his place many times. He said he wasn't what people said he was.
Yeah.
Said he just wouldn't let nobody run over him.
Mm-hmm. But they just got
There's
the wrong.
a difference now.
But that's a wonderful story.
That's a story.
Wonderful.
And he said that actually happened. I mean, that wasn't just a tale somebody
Yeah.
told. But
You know, you have the best memory of anybody I have ever seen of any age.
well, I give all of my memory and the credit and all to everything to the Lord. I know He has blessed me with this, and I know He has. And I don't know why I didn't die a long time ago, but He didn't want me to.
Apparently he doesn't want you up there yet. He's not through shaping you.
I'm kind of like my oldest brother. My oldest brother died in January, and he is 96 years old. He was old. Me and him was the only two left, and he was the oldest, and I was the third one in our family. And he played a fiddle. He one of them old-timey fiddlers.
Oh, wonderful.
And he would go to these chain gang camps and everywhere else and play and sing and preach to them the gospel and all that stuff, you know. And somebody asked him here, and too long ago back, what did he think was going to happen to that fiddle whenever he died? He said, you know, said, I've been thinking about that a whole lot. He said, I may just take it with me. He said, they need a fiddler up there. That was the answer he gave. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. I have a little great niece who's quite a violin player, but she wants to be a fiddler. She doesn't want to be a violinist. And she can play some real nice things. But then she starts on Orange Blossom Special.
Oh.
And the dog goes absolutely crazy.
Really?
He barks and howls and carries on until she
I know.
plays another tune and then he's all right.
Well,
That
now,
sets him off.
Gary's daddy, I guess he was really the best musician in our family. He was one that could play anything. Oh, I
Do
mean,
you play there?
No, I play a stereo and that's about it.
His daddy, he learned a lot of his guitar playing and stuff from Elsie Florence.
Is that right?
Yeah, he sure did. taught him a lot of things. But he, you know, if he didn't sleep at night, a lot of times he'd wake up in the midnight and he'd just go in there in the living room, get his guitar and sit in there and play that thing. He told me he learned a lot of stuff by just picking it out, you know.
Well, he had a gift. I
He
can't
sure
do
did.
that. I've been trying to memorize one page of piano music for about 6 years now, and I haven't got it yet.
Well, that's one thing, you know, I could have been a musician, but I just kind of lost interest in all of that. Kind of quit, and I got all kind of instruments down there to play, and I picked the guitar up yesterday, and my favorite, I couldn't even match the chord down there.
Well, you have to get your fingers in shape.
But I got a
string instrument.
I got the old steel guitar, one of them old National. It's got a history behind it. I've had that thing about 60 years. It's old Steel International, and then there's a guy give me a Yamaha.
You know Jesse Norton?
Who?
Jesse Norton lives out of Edinburgh.
No, I
He
know.
picks a mean guitar,
Yeah.
and he wanted a steel guitar. So he cut the middle out of a regular one and put a hubcap in
Yeah.
it.
Now that's people can do that. You know.
Talking about having these old things,
Yeah.
did you know that James King had a Gillespie rifle?
I did know that. He informed me of that when I first got to know him. When I
Well,
was on
he said he always took that rifle with him when he was on vacation. He never would leave it at home. But it was given to his great-grandfather
Right.
and came on down to him.
Well, I've
He
got
had
the
no
memory.
idea the value of that rifle.
Well,
You know,
he said there were only half a dozen of them left in the country.
that's right.
And somebody asked me if the Union soldiers had taken them all, but I've never heard what actually happened.